A blonde had been married for about a year. One day she came running up to her husband, jumping for joy. He didn't know how to react, so he started jumping up and down along with her. "Why are we so happy?" he asked. She said, "Honey, I have some really great news for you." "Great," he said. "Tell me why you're so happy about it." She stopped, breathless from all the jumping up and down. "I'm pregnant," she gasped. The husband was ecstatic, as they had been trying for quite a while. He grabbed her and kissed her. "Wow, that is wonderful. I couldn't be happier." Then she said, "Oh, honey, there's more." "What do you mean, more?" he asked. "Well, we are not having just one baby. We are going to have twins." He was amazed at how she could know so soon after getting pregnant. "How do you know that?" he asked. "It was easy," she said. "I went to the pharmacy and bought the 2-pack home pregnancy test kit. Both tests came out positive." A lawyer is trying to call his clients. The phone rings, and a little boy in a whisper says, "Hello, lawyer. Is your mommy there?" Boy whispers, "Yes." Lawyer, "Can I speak to her?" Boy whispers, "She's very busy." Lawyer, "Is your daddy there?" Boy whispers, "Yes." Lawyer, "Can I speak to him?" Boy whispers, "No, he's very busy." Lawyer, "Is there anyone else there?" Boy whispers, "Yes, the fire department." Lawyer, "Can I talk to one of them?" Boy whispers, "No, they're busy too." Lawyer, "Is there anybody else there?" Boy whispers, "The police department." Lawyer, "Well, can I talk to one of them?" Boy whispers, "No, they're busy too." Lawyer, "Let me get this straight. Your mother, father, the fire department, and the police department are all in your house, and they are all busy. What are they doing?" Boy whispers, "They are all looking for me." Many years ago, I had stopped in to bring my girlfriend some pizza while she was babysitting. We received a call that her grandmother had been taken to the hospital, so I agreed to watch the children so she could meet her family at the hospital. Well, the parents were at a movie, and these were the days before cell phones, so I couldn't get in touch with them. I thought I was doing pretty well, though. At bedtime, I sent the kids upstairs to bed and settled down to watch some TV. One child kept creeping down the stairs, but I just kept sending him back to bed. At 9 p.m., the doorbell rang. It was the next-door neighbor asking whether her son was there. I said, "No." Just then, a little head appeared over the banister and shouted, "I'm here, Mom, but he won't let me go home." A lawyer working in the UK wrote to his wife in Canada, "Dear Emma, darling, I can't send you my salary this month because of the global market crisis has affected my company's performance. So I am sending you 100 kisses instead. You are my sweetheart, and please adjust. Your loving husband, William." His wife replied, "Thanks for the 100 kisses, dear darling Tuna." Below is the list of expenses I paid with the kisses. 1. The milkman agreed on 2 kisses for 1 month's milk. 2. The electricity man agreed not to disconnect only after 7 kisses. 3. Our landlord comes every day to take 2 or 3 kisses instead of the monthly rent. 4. The supermarket owner did not accept just kisses only, so I gave him other items. I hope you understand. 5. Miscellaneous expenses, 40 kisses. Please don't worry about me. I still have a balance of 35 kisses, and I hope I can survive the month using the balance. Shall I plan the same for next month? Your sweetheart, Emma. A family of prostitutes are talking. The daughter says, "I got $50 for a job today." The mother says, "In my day, it was $5. The grandmother says, "In my day, we were just glad for the warm drink." A man goes into a restaurant with an ostrich. They sit down and order. "I'd like a hamburger, fries, and a Coke," says the man, then turns towards the ostrich. "And you, the same," says the ostrich. A few minutes later, the waitress brings the food and the bill. $6.40, she says. The man takes out the exact amount from his pocket without even counting the money and hands it to the waitress. The next day, the man and the ostrich come again, ask for the same food, and the man pays with the exact amount, and the same routine takes place for the next couple of days. On a Friday night, the man and the ostrich turn up again. "The usual?" asks the waitress. "No, today's Friday. I'd like a steak and some crushed potatoes," says the man. Then he turns towards the ostrich. "And you?" "The same," replies the bird. After a few minutes, the waitress comes back with the order and the bill. $32.50. The man, yet again, takes out the exact amount of money without counting it. The waitress can't help herself at this point and asks, "Excuse me, sir, but please tell me, how come you always have the exact amount?" "Years ago, I cleaned up my attic and found an old lamp. I rubbed it and a genie appeared. He promised me 2 wishes. My first wish was to have the exact amount of money in my pockets whenever I had to pay for something." "That's brilliant," says the waitress. "Others would have asked for $1 million, but you'll stay rich till the end of your life." "Indeed," nods the man. "It doesn't matter whether I want to buy a bottle of beer or a Rolls Royce. The money will always be there when I need it." "Can I also ask why this ostrich is always with you?" "Well, my second wish was to get a very tall chick with nice strong legs who agrees with everything I say." A young man went into confession crying and told the priest, "Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned." "What have you done?" asked the priest. "A few weeks ago I went to the library. I remained there until closing time, and when I was about to go home, rain started pouring down. It was so intense I had to wait in the library. I had waited for a while with the librarian, a young, attractive, single girl. Then one thing led to another, and I ended up sleeping with her." The man stopped talking but kept weeping. "Well, don't cry, it's a sin, but it is not that bad. You should say 5 Hail Marys, and it will be forgiven," said the priest. "But it doesn't end there." The man kept sobbing. "A few days later, my elderly neighbor asked me to help her with her computer. Her husband was hospitalized, and she couldn't send an email to her son. I went there and fixed the problem, but when I was about to leave, rain started pouring down. It was really stormy, and I had to wait. One thing led to another, and I ended up sleeping with the old lady," the man cried. "Oh, dear, well, that makes it harder indeed. But still, you should say 15 Hail Marys, and you'll be forgiven," said the priest. "Oh, I'm afraid the worst part is still ahead," cried the man. "Yesterday I went to the barber. I was his last client that day. As soon as he finished and was about to close the shop, rain started pouring down so intensely I had to wait with him. One thing led to another, and I ended up sleeping with him as well," the man cried. "Oh dear, it is indeed worse than I thought," said the priest. "So what should I do, Father?" the man asked. "Well," answered the priest, "you should get out of here before it starts raining." An elderly priest, his eyes sparkling with good humor, turned to the younger priest beside him and said, "I must say, your idea to replace the first few pews with plush theater-style seats was inspired. It's remarkable how quickly those seats fill up now." The younger priest chuckled softly and gave a modest nod as the elder priest went on. "And I'll admit, when you suggested giving the hymns a modern twist, I was skeptical, but bringing in that rock and roll gospel choir has truly revitalized the congregation. It's wonderful to see every seat filled all the way to the balcony." "Thank you, Father," the younger priest replied, his tone humble yet pleased. The elder priest patted him on the shoulder, his expression kind. "Your enthusiasm and fresh ideas have been such a blessing to our parish. Truly, most of your innovations have been marvelous." The younger priest detected a hint of hesitation in the older man's voice and braced himself for what was coming. Sure enough, the elder priest continued, "That being said, I think you may have gone a step too far with the drive-through confessional." "But, Father," the young priest exclaimed, leaning forward earnestly, "attendance for confessions has doubled, and our donations are through the roof." The elder priest stroked his chin thoughtfully. "Yes, I've noticed. Your efforts haven't gone unappreciated, believe me, but the flashing neon sign on the roof that says, 'Confess and drive away,' well, let's just say it's a bit much." A man walks into a bar with his dog, but before they can take a seat, the bartender shakes his head and says, "Sorry, buddy, no animals allowed." To everyone's shock, the dog looks up and says, "Oh, come on. Can't a guy get a drink without all this fuss?" The bartender crosses his arms. "Nice try, pal. Another one of those talking dog gimmicks, huh? Not buying it. Both of you need to go." "It's not a trick, I promise," the man protests. "Here, I'll prove it. How about I step out for a bit? You can chat with my dog yourself." The man walks out, leaving the bartender alone with the dog. "So about that drink?" the dog says, tail wagging. Stunned, the bartender blinks and mutters, "Okay, sure on the house, but you know what? My wife works at the cafe next door, and she'd lose her mind if you walked in and ordered something. Here's $10. Get yourself a coffee and keep the change." The dog grabs the money and trots off toward the cafe. 10 minutes go by and the dog hasn't returned. Just as the man comes back, he asks, "Where's my dog?" The bartender, looking worried, says, "He went to the cafe, but he hasn't come back yet." The two head out to find him. As they pass the alley between the bar and the cafe, they stop in their tracks. There's the dog, cozying up with a fancy French poodle. "Rover," the man shouts, "what on earth are you doing? You've never behaved like this before." The dog turns his head nonchalantly and replies, "Hey, I've never had money before." A family is driving on holiday when a frog crosses the road. The husband, who is driving, manages to stop the car in time. He gets out, picks up the frog, and moves it to the side of the road. The frog thanks the man and says, "I will grant you one wish." The man thinks for a moment and says, "Please make my dog win the next dog race." The frog asks to see the dog. The man opens the car door and out limps a 3-legged, overweight dog that can barely move. The frog looks at the dog and says, "I'm afraid your wish is nearly impossible. Can you make another wish instead?" The man thinks again and says, "Okay, then please make my wife win the next beauty contest." The frog asks the man to have his wife step out of the car. She gets out and approaches the frog. The frog looks at the wife, then turns back to the man and says, "Could I please take another look at the dog?"